Hey guys, we're live. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. We're here to talk about ticker tape investments. We've had quite a few people kind of ask questions about, what is it? Why should I pay attention to it? How do I join, etc. So we wanted to do this presentation to kind of answer those questions and talk really about how can ticker tape help you and why are we doing all of this. So without further ado, we'll run through it. First of all, standard disclaimer, this is certainly not an offer to sell any securities. We're going to talk about a couple of the deals that are open for ticker tape right now and some of the past deals, but if you are interested in investing in any of them, you need to reach out and request a private placement memorandum and other disclaimers and disclosures for the individual deals. And also, we're not here offering any investment advice. So without further ado, what do they call it? Burying the headline. I'm not going to bury the headline today. What is ticker tape? So the short answer to that is it's a loose affiliation of a group of several hundred investors who pool their expertise, their time, their capital, their deal flow to find, evaluate, and invest in private equity deals. You may hear us talk about publicly traded securities or sort of standard investments that you can buy through a banking firm, but that's not what ticker tape invests in. We do private equity and debt deals, everything from real estate to pre-IPO. In the past, we've done some early stage deals into funds, but typically what we're doing now is we create a single purpose entity to make a single asset purchase, perhaps a pre-IPO company stock, perhaps a limited partnership interest in a multifamily deal or a hotel, and then we offer the opportunity to other investors in our community. So from an investing standpoint, that's really what we do. We've put together a very diversified portfolio for Tom Schmidt and Rita Karpel. Every deal we put together, we invest our capital in the deal. So if you've heard that, hey, we did ThoughtSpot, then you know that Tom and Rita invested in ThoughtSpot. And so that's sort of the standard approach. We find something that we want to invest in, or someone in the ticker tape community shows us an opportunity that we like. We put a deal together, and then we offer the opportunity to our partners to join us and invest alongside us in those different deals. Over the past years, we've had multiple exits, including we did a surgery center deal that exited. We bought Palantir, SoFi, Outbrain, and USA Rare Earth. USA Rare Earth is kind of exiting. It's not exited. Their stock is supposed to start trading on March the 12th, I believe. And we have, worst case, a 6-month hold period. So sometime in the next 6 months, we'll be selling our shares, or at least we'll have liquidity opportunity to sell our shares in USA Rare Earth. We've done all sorts of deals from ThoughtSpot to SpaceX to Indigo Agriculture. One of my favorites is Kraken. We're actually looking to buy more Kraken shares right now because we anticipate that company will do a public offering this year. We've also done multifamily, emergency room centers, hotels, restaurants. My favorite, and we actually did a significant distribution for this one last week. We invested with some plaintiffs' personal injury lawyers in the 3M earplug litigation, where those cases have now settled. There's a multi-billion-dollar settlement, and we're receiving distributions back to our investor group for having invested in that. If you didn't figure it out already, the reason why we did that deal, a big part of what we do at Ticker Tape is build a very diversified portfolio for yours truly, for Tom Schmidt and Rita Karpel. And so if you guys invest with us in each deal, then you're kind of riding along and getting that same diversified portfolio. So it's not enough to do a lot of pre-IPO deals or a lot of multifamily deals or a lot of energy deals or any of these other categories. We are constantly looking for more diversification. And so that's kind of the goal of what we're doing, is for Tom and Rita to deploy our capital across a more diverse range of asset classes. who are we? So not particularly important to ticker tape as to who we are, because again, all we do is put a deal together. You guys evaluate it. You're not relying on us to do anything but find the deals and manage them. But my track record is I've been a practicing lawyer for 28 years now. I am a repeat entrepreneur. I think Utility Rescue is my 17th company that I've either founded or co-founded over that period. I am also obviously an active investor. I invest primarily through ticker tape, but I've also invested in some private equity deals outside of ticker tape, and then of course have my my traditional portfolio of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, etc. I've had a lot of success as a litigator over 28 years, primarily representing investors who somehow have lost money in a deal. And that's kind of how we got to ticker tape, was that experience of seeing the mistakes that investors make and then helping my clients, my investor clients, do a better job of investing, and then being asked to participate in deals with them kind of led to, hey, let's start a group and work together to build a portfolio. I'm a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania undergrad, and then the University of Texas School of Law. If you want to talk giving back to the community, ask me about, or Rita about Grateful Americans Charity. We're both co-founders of a charity that benefits veterans with PTSD. Rita's story is much more impressive than mine. She's got a 30-year plus history in business development, investor relations, and marketing. Typically sort of marketing with a capital M, PR, TV, radio, podcast, that sort of marketing background. But more importantly and relevant, she's raised over $300 million to put together deals in multiple different industries and categories. I sort of describe her background as helping investors find deals and putting deals together with investors. She may represent a company looking to find investors, or she might represent investors putting together an investment opportunity like she did, helping us put Utility Rescue together. She started out on the floor of the Chicago Merc, literally screaming and yelling and handling trades on the floor in all of that craziness. Whenever I think about how stressful my life gets from time to time, I realize that if you go back, there's a lot of people, including Rita, who've handled a lot more stress than I have. So let's talk a little bit about why did we create ticker tape. The answer is somewhat complicated. It's, I would say, multifaceted, if you will. And so I kind of explain it by asking investors questions. So for instance, have you ever felt like it's hard for you to evaluate deals by yourself? This was a big part of what led us to create Ticker Tape Investments, was looking at deals that we wanted to, maybe we didn't know if we wanted to invest in them yet, but we at least wanted to consider the opportunity. And I personally felt like a couple times I wasn't qualified to evaluate the deal. So number one, I had missed out on a few oil and gas deals that were, they weren't sort of just basic traditional drilling programs. They had some sort of technology component to them, and I didn't feel comfortable at the time evaluating the likelihood of success, so I passed. And then it culminated with a drug deal, a company that was coming out with a generic version of a cancer drug. And first of all, I had to evaluate the science. I felt like I was pretty well able to do that. I'm a smart guy, I could teach myself how to do that. But there was a second component to that deal, which was they had to get FDA approval for the new generic drug. And I found myself completely clueless as to how to handicap that. So on a whim, I reached out to one of my clients who had a background in helping companies get FDA approval. And so I said, hey, will you come help me look at this deal? In the course of having those discussions, the company had a minimum investment of $100,000, which I had $100,000. I even planned to invest more than $100,000 at the time. But I was not interested in making a $100,000 bet on a deal where I might lose 100% of my investment. This was money that I had earned through labor, right? Billing by the hour as an attorney. And so I wasn't really willing to risk that amount of money on a drug company that was either going to make me, 5 to 10 times my investment or give me back zero. And so with this individual, I discussed, hey, listen, what if we split it? What if we create an LLC? You put in half, I put in half, maybe we bring in a third person and make the investment jointly. And so from that discussion, Ticker Tape Investments was born. The weird thing is that we ended up not making that investment. And it kind of came down to a combination of not being highly confident in their ability to get FDA approval, but also when we started talking about this idea of pitching in together, we concluded that that very high risk opportunity was not the best first investment for us, that we should invest in some safer deals, and then as we have more success, branch out into riskier deals. And so we elected to pass on that deal. Similarly, I'm sure all you guys listening have had a situation where you passed on an opportunity because you did not want to meet the minimum investment. Maybe it was only 25 grand and you had a lot more money than that, but you weren't comfortable making that large of a bet on that deal. And so this is a big part of the value that Ticker Tape delivers to its members. Each deal we do has a minimum investment. Typically it's $10,000, sometimes it's 25, sometimes it's 50,000, but each deal has a minimum. But once an investor makes one investment with Ticker Tape, then we waive the minimum for that investor for all future deals. So in other words, if you meet the minimum, say you put 25 grand in a multifamily deal with us, then your next deal, if you want to put in 3,000, you're allowed to put in whatever amount you're comfortable doing at that time. And so what that does is that reduces the minimum investment that you have to make. Now, keep in mind, nowadays, the larger investment you make, typically if you get up into the 7 figures, you either automatically are entitled to a better deal, or you can negotiate. You have more negotiating power to negotiate a better price. So in addition to reducing the minimum that each of our partners has to contribute, you put in less money in an investment deal, but still get the benefit of the better terms. And that's really why we do Ticker Tape, right? Is, hey, listen, Tom Schmidt wants to put, let's just say $50,000 in a multifamily deal, sorry, not multifamily, a vacation rental deal. And if I do that, I meet the minimum for the deal, but I get a very low preferred return of 7%. And I only get 10% of the, I only get 50% of the profit after the preferred return. However, if I put in 500,000, I get an 8% preferred return plus 60% of the profit. But if I put in $1 million, I get 9% preferred plus 70% of the profit. So by Tom Schmidt putting in 100,000 of my own cash and getting 9 of you guys to do the same thing, now Tom Schmidt gets that preferred return, that better rate of return on the deal, effectively a cheaper investment opportunity, even though I didn't write $1 million check. And so that is sort of one of the goals of Ticker Tape. Of course, you also get the benefit of we find the deal, we vet the deal, someone in the Ticker Tape partnership universe has the expertise to help you evaluate the deal, all those benefits. But the main thing is lower minimums, better pricing. Another question I ask is, have you ever felt like you were being left out of the best investments, that like the multimillionaires out there, the billionaires out there are getting better deals? The guys that are investing at Goldman Sachs, or they're in one of the big venture capital firms, they're getting invited to deals that the everyday investor doesn't get invited to. Obviously, this is a big part of why I created Ticker Tape for myself, because it doesn't matter really how much money I have. If I'm just Tom Schmidt, Houston lawyer, I don't have any clout. No one's coming to me going, man, Tom, we really want you to get involved in this deal. We get phone calls all the time from folks saying, hey, we want Ticker Tape to come in. because we now have a track record of having done, I don't even know, 50 different deals, 40 something deals over the last decade or so. And so now they come to us, we get more credibility, we hear about more opportunities. Plus, while you're doing your day job or playing golf because you're retired, Tom Schmidt and Rita Carpel are out there looking for new opportunities. We were in Phoenix last week meeting with lots of real estate investors. We're looking now at a mobile home deal, a multifamily, an apartment complex, then a different multifamily deal that's actually a group of freestanding homes, plus a vacation rental deal. So we're out there networking, meeting investors, hearing about opportunities, vetting opportunities, starting due diligence while you guys are minding your day business, and all of a sudden you'll have access to those opportunities because you're part of Ticker Tape Investments. Another thing that we experienced and that our investors experience is frustration over having your capital tied up too long. So this is something we address by looking for shorter term deals. Deals like our debt deal has liquidity opportunities on a shorter time frame. All of our pre-IPO deals are targeted to have shorter hold times before the companies go public and we liquidate. So overall, I can't solve this problem for you across your whole portfolio. Plus, some of our deals are longer term. SpaceX obviously is longer. Multifamily deals tend to be longer. But if you are concerned about having your capital tied up too long, you will see opportunities through Ticker Tape with a much shorter time horizon associated with them to help solve that problem. So that's those problems, the solutions to those problems is why we created Ticker Tape. And then of course, an even more relevant question is, does it work? And we think it does. We've had quite a remarkable track record since we started doing this. A handful of the deals are on the board, as they say on Family Feud. Palantir was one of our less successful investments. Great story there, which if you're familiar with this company, you know the punchline here. We paid an adjusted price of $15 a share. When it went public, I was able to sell my shares for an average price of about $32. So I made about 2 times my money. I know some of my folks sold in the mid to high 20s, so they didn't quite achieve that return. Some people sold as high as 40. However, many of our investors bucked the trend. The idea here is we're doing pre-IPO. We're buying when they're private. We're supposed to sell when they go public. Take the money off the table, take the profit and run. Some people said, you know what, I like this company. I want to hold it longer. And you may know that after that, the stock price tanked, right? Went down low teens, 10, in that range. And I got a lot of phone calls. Hey, Tom, I'm underwater. What do I do? I know you told me to sell and I didn't, but what do I do now? And I said, well, you can either book your loss or you can hold it for the long term. You said you wanted to hold it for the long run. Well, those people were very sick at their stomach at the time. And I was dancing on the table because I made whatever, a couple times my money. Of course, the punchline is the stock went north of $100. So they ended up, those that held it that long made more money than I did on the deal. Of course, they had to hold it for 3 years and I was out within a year, so less than a year. So again, kind of a lesson there, you'll see the footnote there that for the pre-IPO deals, we don't sell your shares for you. We give you your shares when they start trading publicly, and then you decide if or when to sell and for what price. So all we can do is kind of estimate, what you should have sold for if you sold with us right after the IPOs. SoFi, so far has been our best performing deal. I made 4.8 times my money on that one in 7 months. That's probably, I'd be surprised if we do better than that. We could make more than 4.8 times our money on USA Rare Earth. I heard today there's discussions among the insiders that they think the stock will be trading at above $20 in the short term before we're able to sell, which could get us up into that 5 times range. However, it was not in 8 months or 7 months. It was over 3 years. So taking into account the time horizon, it would have to be much higher return to match what SoFi did. So that's kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for 2 to 3 times our money in a 1 to 2 year time frame period. 3M litigation funding, obviously not pre-IPO, did about 2 times our money. Kraken, we think we're going to get, number one, we think it's going to go public this year now that we have a new SEC chair, and we think the IPO market will open up in 2025. Obviously can't predict the price, but looking to make a nice spread on that one. And we're actually actively looking to buy more shares because of that sort of short-term IPO opportunity. Ripple, you know, people ask me like, what were the deals that went badly? Arguably, this is one of our worst results, because when we did this deal, at the time we bought the shares, the company was under attack by the SEC, which was trying to shut it down, put it out of business. So I told my audience, the Ticker Tape group, I said, guys, we're going to do this, but we're only buying a little bit. And my advice to you is don't put very much in this. I don't remember, I need to look it up. I think I only put in $5,000. And I was one of the larger investors. A lot of people put in $1,000 or $2,000. Well, now the company is presently buying its shares back for north of $100 a share, and we're going to make, looks like, better than 5 times our money on the stock. However, you know, the kick in the head is we didn't buy enough, right? I'm going to make whatever 25 grand. I could have made 250 grand or something, you know, if I'd put more money in it. So again, very nice return. We waited a few years for this one, and we're assuming it's going to go public this year. Open deals right now, trying to give you a flavor of what we are doing in the present. We have a utility rescue opportunity. I'm going to talk about that with a little more detail in just a second. Next week, a week from tomorrow, you may have seen a link to a webinar like this one where we're going to announce and discuss TTI Merchant Holdings, which is like a debt deal, although it's not technically debt, and it is going to pay monthly distributions to the investors that participate at a rate of approximately 16% per year on your money. But what it does is it gives cash advance, merchant cash advance loans to businesses, takes a tiny piece of hundreds of loans in order to reduce risk, and then obviously pays a higher return. We have a multifamily offering, which is not yet open. You know, if you're interested in that, let us know. We'll put you on the waiting list. We'll be launching that within the next 30 days. We have TTI Metaverse, which is an ongoing fund that invests in cryptocurrencies, blockchain companies, as well as metaverse real estate. Very high risk, very high return. And that one's a little bit different because that's actually an actively managed fund. We actively buy and sell multiple assets in that entity. If you're interested in that, reach out to Rita. She can get you some info on that. And then kind of the next one out of the gate here, probably in 2 weeks, maybe sooner, is TTI Vacation Holdings, where it looks like we're going to invest in 18 freestanding homes in the St. Louis market that are going to be managed for Airbnb, VRBO vacation rooms. Other deals pending, again, trying to give you the flavor of what we're working on. We're currently evaluating multiple pre-IPO deals. The only one I can disclose at this point is Kraken, because we've already invested in that one. All the others will be new investments for us. We're looking at a 20-unit condo building in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. If I had to predict, I would say by the end of this year, Ticker Tape will do some sort of deal in Mexico. We've tried a couple times, haven't been able to get it done, but we love the, the Riviera Maya from Cancun down south of Tulum. We were looking at a number of deals down there, so we anticipate doing one. I'd like to put some of my money in that touristy region, so we may do that. I think we're going to move forward with this. I don't know why this slide says condos. I keep seeing that and reminding myself they're not condos. They're actually duplex freestanding homes. So there's 12 duplexes with 24 units. It looks like a regular neighborhood, and so it's like a small multifamily deal. Very excited about this one because it's technically in Indiana. So it's in a red state, better regulation, better taxes, better insurance rates, but it's only 45 minutes from downtown Chicago. So you get the market growth and size of a suburb of Chicago. So we really like that deal. Should have a deal done, I would say, in the next 45 days or so to participate in that one. And then we're actually going to look for more merchant cash advance deals as well. I'm not going to give the full presentation of Utility Rescue in the interest of time, but I did want to mention it as an example of a pre-IPO deal that is currently open, and we're raising the share price on March the 7th. So if you want to get in this one, reach out fast. You can go to utilityrescue.com and look at detail about what does the company do. But the short answer is all we do is save people money. We operate the most comprehensive expense reduction platform for consumers and businesses in the world. We have more expense reduction related services than any other company out there. We're currently, we have a 5-year convertible note to raise $5 million. It accrues interest at 8% per year and converts into common stock at your election. The company cannot force you to convert ever. But if you choose to convert in the first year, you convert at $2 per share. That's the price we're increasing from $2 to $2.50 come next week, basically, March the 7th. So if you're interested in this one, watch the presentation, get in touch with Rita ASAP, and we're happy to have you invest. If you wait longer than a year to convert, remember it's a 5-year note, you can do so, but then you convert at just a 20% discount to whatever the then current share price is. So if we're trading at 10, you'd convert at $8 if you wait that long. Why do we like this deal? First of all, it's a convertible note on a pre-IPO deal. You almost never see those. So you have the 8% interest to fall back on if you don't like what happens with the company or the stock price. Number two, you've got built-in 25% increase in value if you get in before March 7th. That's, again, very rare to have that opportunity, huge benefit for investors that get in now. Again, remember we talked about hold times and reducing your hold time. This is a short-term opportunity. You will have the opportunity for full liquidity when the company is publicly traded, which is currently estimated to be third to fourth quarter of 26. You should have a partial liquidity opportunity for about 20% of your shares at around $3.50 a share in late 25, like December late, or early 26. And then ultimately end of 26, the company should be publicly traded, and we're estimating a share price of around $9. The company is, the reason we're raising the share price is in addition to our door-to-door program advancing, we're adding about $8 million in annual EBITDA from some restaurant clients that are signing up as customers as we speak. And so when you add that much EBITDA, and you go, oh, okay, what if you only assume a 5 times EBITDA multiple, you basically just doubled the value of the company, arguably. So we're going to go ahead and raise the share price and keep on trucking. In the category of why pay attention to ticker tape, we provide an enormous amount of educational content for you guys, both from the benefit of my law firm, Schmidt Law Firm, and also from our investment experience. We've been educating entrepreneurs, professionals, business owners, and investors about a long list of topics. So there's sort of the passive way to participate, which is to follow us on our social media pages and our blog at tickertapeinvestments.com. Read the stuff we put online, maybe a video or an article called The Top 5 Mistakes Most Investors Make, or it could be, hey, here's a list of publicly traded stocks that we think are poised for a stock split. It could be, things like what stuff is your financial advisor not telling you? Tons of videos, articles, blog posts, all kinds of information. So follow along with us, and you're guaranteed to learn something. It could be tax tips, for instance. But in recent weeks, we've decided to advance that process and offer free personal consultations to ticker tape followers. So again, we've been providing advice on an individual basis to investors and partners and clients for years about everything from legal strategy, business strategy, tax, estate planning, investment ideas, all those sorts of things. And so what we have now is an opportunity for you to go fill out a questionnaire to give us information about your personal situation, and then request a totally free 45-minute session for us to answer any questions you have, give you advice, etc. We've had people approach us about how to fix our Roth IRA. We've had tax questions. How can I shelter income? One of our recent investors came to us and said, hey, we're getting these distributions from my, I guess, stepfather who never actually adopted me. So my shares are being paid to my stepbrother, who's then paying me my piece. How do I avoid paying full tax on that? So we're going to help them work on a tax strategy to shelter that income that's coming in. How do you know if you need to come talk to us? Can you answer these questions? How many of your kids and grandkids between the ages of 5 and 18 should you hire? I mean, you hire. The answer is all of them. If you didn't know that, give us a shout. Do you have currently any passive investment losses that are carrying forward on your tax return from year to year? If the answer to this is yes, you've got to get on the phone with us. We can help you wash out those passive losses and take them against active income almost all of the time. Not 100% of the time, but almost all of the time. Another question, do you have traditional IRAs or Roth IRAs that are not self-directed? If the answer to that is yes, you need to talk to us. You need to convert them over to self-directed IRAs. There's no sort of disadvantage. You may, in some circumstances, pay $100 per year additional fees. Typically, I find that they're about the same. But the advantage is you can still invest in your ETFs, your mutual funds, your individual stocks, but it opens up the opportunity to invest in private equity deals. And if you don't know that Peter Thiel, one of the first investors in Facebook, has $5 billion plus in his Roth IRA, then you should go look that up. We're actually going to publish some more information about his story, but that's the idea, right? Certainly don't put any bonds in your Roth. Don't put any multifamily deals in your Roth. Put your high return deals like your utility rescues, your SoFis, for instance, where you're going to get a multiple of your investment. Put those in your Roth. Speaking of that, by the way, tomorrow night at the same time, we're doing a presentation called How to Allocate Your Investments Across Your Different Accounts. So make sure, if you haven't already seen the link to that, make sure you register and come watch that presentation as well. Couple more, do you own your car in your own name? Most people do. You're wasting money paying taxes. We can get you tax deductions by having your car owned in an LLC. Same thing with, you should be renting. If you own your home, you should be renting your home from yourself. That improves the tax deductions along the nature of the home office deduction. You can get a lot more deductions out of it that way. Kinds of things we talk about: how to create more passive income, how to avoid investment minimums, investment ideas like going out and renting a property, a home or maybe a duplex, and then renting it out on Airbnb, and you actually make money on the spread. How to buy online businesses that cash flow immediately. How to get income for your savings at a much higher rate than you are now. Sort of all the above. If you're watching this on a computer, you can scan that QR code to get to the questionnaire. If not, reach out to Rita and she can get you a link to it. And then I always tell people, man, the questionnaire is crazy detailed, but except for the contact info, none of the questions are mandatory. So kind of put in there the information you want us to know about. Like if you want to know about tax benefits from hiring your kids, put in all the information about your kids. If you want us to help you evaluate whether you're diversified or not, put in all your personal investments and we can go through those. You should get the point from the questionnaire. That's really all we have. Sort of the last couple notes. One is that's a different QR code there on your screen for our social media links. You can also get there by going to our website, tickertapeinvestments.com or ttifund.com for short, and then click on Contact Us. And on the Contact Us page are links to our Facebook pages, our LinkedIn groups, our YouTube channel, all that stuff. This video, by the way, like any of the events we do, will be posted on our YouTube channel so that you can watch the recording after the fact that way. Kind of a refresher on the deals that are open. The most urgent is Utility Rescue, Fourth Multifamily, and that says Mexico. That should say Vacation Holdings will be the next two that go live. And of course, if you're interested in TTI Debt or TTI Metaverse, you can reach out to Rita. There's her contact info. I'm going to sign off. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Look forward to investing with you guys in the future. Everybody have a great rest of your day.